Hey y'all, my name is Yvette and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be announcing this year's round of the middle grade magic readathon. This readathon is all about reading and celebrating middle grade books, and it's honestly one of my favorite things on BookTube to do. I've been lucky enough to be able to co-host it every year, and I really like having this extra push to finally get to some of the middle grade books on my TBR. The middle grade magic readathon was created by and is ran by my friend Kara over at the Wild Book Garden, and my fellow co-hosts are Kier at Kier the Scrivener, Kelly at Cozy Reader Kelly, and Yara at Array of Reading. This year's round is running from October 20th to October 31st, and the theme for this year is just kind of having a more chill and relaxed readathon with a few seasonal prompts. And we're going to have two sets of prompts depending on how chill and relaxed you want your readathon experience to be. The first set of prompts is like a tier 1 beginner set of prompts for if you're less familiar with middle grade books or if you just want a more relaxed readathon experience. There are 3 prompts for this one, and the first one is to read a book that feels seasonal to you. So this can be something cozy, something spooky, or something spring themed if you live in the southern hemisphere. And if you don't like reading seasonally, you can just read a book with seasonal colors on the cover. The second prompt is to read a book by a Latin American author, and the third prompt is to read a book nominated for an award listed on a reading list other than the Newbery Award. And you can still choose a book that made the Newbery list, it just has to also appear for another list or award. And for this last prompt, we do have a couple links that I'll link down in the description that will hopefully make finding a book for this prompt easy. The first link I'm gonna have is bookconnections.org, and if you go there and type in your book, you can see if it's listed under any state lists or awards. The second thing I'm gonna link is the ALA, the American Literary Association, and that is just gonna have like a database of lists and awards that just have a ton of books. Something else to do to find books for this prompt that I found really helpful is to look for literary awards for genres or things you're already interested in books and seeing if they have a middle grade category. So for example, I like reading queer books, and the Queer Book Award is the Lammy that Lambda Literary puts out, and they have a youth category and a middle grade category. So I can go look at the nominations for these categories going back years, and there are a ton of good books there. And to give just one more example, the Fire Literary magazine, which is a magazine for Black speculative fiction, a few years ago they started the Ignite Awards, and those are awards for diverse sci-fi, fantasy, and horror, and they have a middle grade category, and I think it started back in 2020, so there's not a ton of nominations to go back and look at, but the nominations they do have are really good, so I would recommend that one as well. So on to the second set of prompts. These are the expert tier 2 level prompts that you can do in addition to the beginner level prompts if you feel up to doing a more challenging readathon experience. The first prompt is to read a friend and or book blogger's recommendation. The second prompt is to read a book in a series. The third prompt is to read a book that counts towards a goal or a project that you have, and this could be a very loose goal. So like for the year of 2023, if you have a very loose goal of reading more of a certain genre, or for me, my very loose goal for 2023 is read more books that I already own versus like reading from the library or buying a new book. The fourth one is to read a book by an author you love. Number 5 is to read a book on a genre you don't read as often in middle grade. Prompt number 6 is to read a book from a previous TBR, and this doesn't specifically have to be a middle grade magic TBR, just any TBR. And the last prompt is to read a book featuring Latin American folklore or mythology. So that is going to be it for this year's prompts. But one more thing is that we are doing something new this round, and that we are doing a group book. It is very optional, but I would highly recommend it because I've already read this book and it's really good, and it also fits all 3 prompts for the beginner level prompts, so it's a good choice all around. And the book is Witchlings by Claribel A. Ortega, and this is a fantasy book that takes place in a world where everyone is a witch, or in the main character's case, a witchling. She's 12 years old, and she is part of the age group where they get sorted into covens, and it's like a huge life-changing event. It's a really big deal which coven you get sorted into, and it kind of like defines your life path. But every year there are a few witches that don't get sorted at all, and they're called spares. Spares are generally looked down on, and they live a more tougher, isolated life because of that. The main character doesn't accept this, and things go on from there. Again, I've already read this book and really liked it, and even if you don't pick up this book for this readathon, I still highly recommend putting it on your TBR to read sometime in the future. One more thing for this readathon is that we are going to have a live show, and the date of that is to be decided, so look out on our social media for that, which I will also link down below. That is going to be it for today's video. If you have any questions, concerns about the readathon, feel free to ask me in the comments below. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.